It'd either go really well or it's gonna stress me out to no end. Hello you guys, welcome back. I hope you came to this video hungry and ready to try out some new recipes. I'm gonna be making 3 recipes today. They're all new to me. I am super excited to try these out. I'm gonna go ahead and link all of them down below in the description so you guys can check them out if they turn out. I am feeling the fall vibes today. It's supposed to storm this afternoon. I threw on a sweatshirt. Honestly, probably gonna end up changing halfway through this video because I'm gonna get way too hot. It's gonna get toasty in here with all of this cooking and baking that's going on. We're gonna be making today crockpot lemon garlic butter chicken. That was a lot of words, but I love crockpot meals. They're so easy to do. Also going to make bread for the first time. I've never made bread before, but I've been really into watching Joanna Gaines' Magnolia Table. You can watch it on Discovery Plus, and watching her cooking just gets me so inspired to cook. I want to make everything in her videos, and I'm going to be making her braided bread. I'm going to see how that turns out. And also I'm going to make some smashed Brussels sprouts with like Parmesan. This has been kind of like a TikTok trend. I've seen it a couple times on there, and it's one of those recipes where even if you hate Brussels sprouts, I feel like it's going to turn out really good. So really cozy, home cooked, yummy meal. Let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you aren't already, and follow me on Instagram because I share a lot of like daily updates and post a lot of my meal ideas also on there. Chicken is already in the crock pot. I put it in the bottom. This recipe calls for chicken thighs, but all we have are chicken tenders, so that's what I'm going to use. I know that chicken thighs are a little bit more moist, I feel like. We'll see how this works out, but I feel like the biggest part of this recipe is how the flavor turns out, so really anxious to try it. I'm gonna start with zesting half of this lemon. I saw this little hack that if you roll out your lemons or limes first before you cut them, you can get more juice out of it. So okay, so we're gonna put in 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. New favorite little measuring spoons. They're from Amazon. I'll link them down below because they're like this oval shape and they're super pretty. So they fit into all of the spice jars really easily. So love that. So half a teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of the red chili flakes, but you can also use cayenne pepper. And I think that's, oh, and then salt and pepper, of course. We're technically supposed to use fresh garlic. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna guess and use some of this minced garlic that I already have and throw that in there. And half a stick of butter gets diced up. I have a little bit of chicken broth. I just use these chicken cubes because that's the easiest way for me to do chicken broth. So heated up a little bit of water and threw one of the cubes in there, and we're just gonna pour it all over. Do you guys see this random storm that we have going on over here? Here's what it's looking like now. I am gonna kind of like stir this up so that the spices all get mixed up and everything. Then we're gonna put it on high for about 3 to 4 hours. You can also cook it on low for 6 to 8, which I feel like is probably the better option, but we're just gonna roll with it. This was so easy to just throw all together. I'm back. I feel like this could go either really well or just like stress me out to no end. So we're gonna use a teaspoon of sugar. So whenever I bake, I like to be exact with my measurements and use a knife to kind of level it all out. So teaspoon of sugar. I think we're ready for the water. So the water's nice and warm. I'm only gonna use 1/4 of a cup. Let's stand until foamy for about 5 minutes. Start to get hot already. See, I told you guys a sweatshirt was a horrible idea. Two teaspoons of sugar. This is what it looks like right now, and I feel like that's pretty good. It looks pretty foamy. So I'm gonna turn this on low, and we're gonna start slowly adding this in. Okay, I just turned this off for a quick second so you guys can hear me without the mixer running, but I added in the rest of the warm water, eggs, and oil, as you guys saw. Now we're gonna turn it up to kind of a medium speed, so maybe like 6, and let that go for 5 minutes until it makes a ball. It looks good. So I just sprayed this large bowl with a little bit of cooking spray. We're gonna put this in here and then put some plastic wrap over the top. It's gonna double in size in about an hour. It's going to place it in this spot over here by the window because it says to place it in a warm spot. We'll see how this looks in about an hour. Literally told you guys I would end up changing because it got too hot. I was working too fast and just a lot going on. It's been a little bit more than an hour now and my dough looks ready. My 3 strips here, so now I'm just gonna put them onto the baking sheet. So I just kind of like pinched the ends of the top there so that they all kind of connect and it makes it easier for me to braid it. And then it's literally gonna be like braiding hair. Okay, what? It actually looks beautiful, and that was way easier than I thought. Honestly, it looked so complicated, but it wasn't that hard. I'm gonna cover this up with plastic wrap again and then wait another 45 minutes. Not gonna lie, I feel like every single time I sit down to like relax today, I gotta like get up and do something else for this bread. But I feel like it's all gonna be worth it. It's gonna be so good. Preheat this to 375. It's looking so good over here. It looks like it came a little bit untucked, so I might have to fix that. But I'm gonna whisk together some egg and heavy cream to brush on the top of it. That way it gets nice and brown. And then some sesame seeds. Then we're gonna finally throw it in the oven. Not gonna lie, this does not look like I made it. Looks like I got it from the store. To make the Brussels sprouts, you're going to start off by boiling them until tender, so they're just a little bit soft on the inside. Go ahead and drain them and shock them with cold water, or I threw them into this large bowl with some ice. Then you're going to dry them off and throw them onto a sheet pan. Season it with some salt, garlic powder, and red pepper, and drizzle with some olive oil. Make sure that they're all covered. Then this is the fun part. You take the bottom of a cup and smash them down. Throw them in the oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so I just flipped them and I'm like turning into a mess. I feel like they're supposed to stay into like a little patty shape. They're kind of just falling all over the place. Add a little bit of Parmesan after they're flipped. Throw them back into the oven for about 10 more minutes until they're nice and crispy. I threw a little bit of butter onto the sheet pan too, and they were so good. Everything is finally done. The Brussels sprouts actually turned out really good and crispy. I did for the last couple of minutes put them on broil. They came out great. I'm excited to try them. I'm gonna cut into my loaf of bread and I'm exhausted. It has been a long day in the kitchen. I'm ready to eat and then kind of just zone out for the rest of the night. Finished dinner not too long ago. The Brussels sprouts were amazing, so good and crispy and flavorful, which I feel like is really hard to get with them. A lot of times they end up like just mushy and don't taste that good, but highly recommend that recipe. The chicken was a little bit on the dry side, but I think that's mostly because I used chicken tenders because the flavor was delicious. The bread is amazing. It's so good with some butter, or you could do like garlic butter. Yeah, everything actually turned out really well. I'm exhausted now. I am ready to wind down for the night. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you all next time.